So here we are today at the former manganese ore site in Wenden, Arizona. And what this was is a manganese ore processing facility. They own this parcel along with other parcels surrounding this. And this is the last piece that they are hoping to sell off. In order to sell it off, they first have to address the contaminants at the site, which is arsenic and lead. So we're here to remove those contaminants and then backfill with clean material and hopefully make it ready for sale. Our scope of work was first to establish an exclusion zone, and we've marked that out with yellow nylon tape and pink flyers. And so that's identified the area where the contamination is. And our scope of work was to grub and remove all the vegetation, pile that material up, and then based on previous testing that they did at the site, our cut was either a 1 foot, a 2 foot, or even as deep as a 6 foot cut. So you see the excavators in there are digging to that depth. And basically what we found out once we got going is that we were chasing black material, black discolored soil. And so we're digging down to a depth that we get out of the contaminated soil, building various stockpiles, and ultimately those stockpiles will be hauled off and disposed at a landfill. One important aspect of this job is dust control. And that's the best way that we can protect ourselves from airborne contaminants of lead and arsenic. So everything that we do, we try to do as much as we possibly can in a dust-free state. We're close to the neighbors. And what's important with this real-time particulate dust monitor is we track if there's any dust leaving the site. And we've positioned 3 monitors between our work area and the nearby residents. So we're documenting that what we're doing is dust-free, and we're documenting it with these real-time dust monitors. And they'll stay with the project all the way from the start to the finish. What Alan's wearing is a personal air pump, and it's a vacuum pump, and we're calculating 2 liters a minute, and we're drawing air across a filter cartridge here, and any particulate that is drawn across the pump is gathered onto that filter. And then we send this whole cassette to the lab. They take it and analyze it for airborne arsenic and lead. And then they report back to us if there's any contaminants in the air. And the whole theory with it is Alan's in a position at the job where he's spraying water and working right with the excavator. In theory, his position is gonna have the highest potential for exposure. So we wanna see what's happening for Alan, and if he's exposed potentially to the greatest amount of airborne contaminants, we want to document that he's not been personally exposed And also, this is a good safety device for us that we look at these air monitoring results each day and adjust our engineering controls if necessary to make sure that these sample results are coming back good. So far, everything's come back below detection limit. So it tells me that you guys are using good water, you're positioning yourself in an upwind position, and doing all the right things to make sure you're not exposed. Overall, we might dig as much as 30,000 tons of contaminated soil. And the stockpiles that we're looking at, they're each about 200 tons. And what we do is we sample each one of those separate stockpiles from 5 different points of each pile and have it analyzed for TCLP, arsenic, and lead. And this is just confirmation that what we're shipping to the landfill is considered non-hazardous waste. Still impacted, but not RCRA hazardous. As we progress with the excavation, AECOM, they're taking readings, they're doing field screening of the excavated areas. And what they're screening for is lead and arsenic. And not only are we using our visual to remove the black contaminated soil, but we're also using the XRF to give us an idea if the contaminants have been removed. Then they'll actually collect confirmation soil samples and submit them to a fixed lab, and actually the determination if the contaminants have been removed is based on that lab's results. So continuing with the process, we excavate, we remove the contaminants, they sample the area, prove that it's clean, and then we bring in import fill material and backfill the excavation when we're done. So we're getting closer to that point of hauling off the contaminated soil in a process of lessening our carbon footprint. We're planning to utilize the same trucks that haul away the contaminated material to back haul in clean fill. And the whole goal with that is to optimize that truck's time on the road. So the trucks will always be loaded. They'll either be leaving with contaminated or they'll be coming back to the site loaded with clean fill. The reason why we're doing this is to return value to this parcel of land. Right now in its current state with contaminated material, it doesn't have the value that it should. So we've been hired to come in and remove this material so that they can turn around and get the best value for the property.